Certainly, it's our year cranked into full gear. We are celebrating the back-to-back championships of the Georgia Bulldogs. And all we can say is, wow, this was a snore fest. At some point, I started praying for TCU. It just seemed like nothing they were doing was going right. And as a football fan, I probably saw one of the most complete games from all spectrums on offense, defense, special teams, and that I've seen. It was just a complete game. It was a complete beatdown. And I think Georgia has firmly established itself as the new football dynasty. And so congratulations to not only the coaches and all of the players. Certainly we have some from the area, but also congratulations to the alum of the University of Georgia and all of their fans and their fan base that is growing. Again, it was a great game unless you were cheering for TCU. Then it was a very long, long night. Yesterday was also the start of the 2023 Georgia General Assembly's legislative session. And so we have some new legislators, we have some new folks and some new seats. We have new folks representing us, and we look forward to building relationships with them as we advance Savannah's legislative priorities. It's also an exciting day in Savannah, particularly this evening, as we will be swearing in our new police chief, Lenny Gunther. And so I look forward to seeing all of our media outlets in attendance at this great event at the Cultural Arts Center at 6 o'clock p.m. And so this event will be about honoring Chief Gunther's service and commitment to our community. And we are looking forward to the great work that he will do, and I know he'll do, over the coming years, working with his team to engage all Savannahans and help keep our community a safe place to live, work, and play. As I promised last week, I wanted to share the number of applicants and interviewees who were considered during the hiring process. We had more than 50 applicants from across the country, and we ultimately interviewed 3 candidates, including our new chief. If you are attending the event this evening, we want you to know that parking is available in the Liberty Street parking garage, and it will be validated after the ceremony. But you have to go to the ceremony in order to get it validated. So we have free parking with validation. In other news, the City of Savannah Sanitation Department is partnering with Glass Works to create convenient glass recycling drop-off locations throughout our community for residential use. And we have a ribbon cutting ceremony tomorrow at 1 p.m. at the Bacon Park Transfer Station. The city will debut additional glass-only recycling containers at the Dean Forest Landfill, 1327 Dean Forest Road, and for more locations coming in the future. We will announce those in February. We're encouraging our residents to visit either of the 2 locations to transport and dispose of recyclables of a glass nature at no additional cost. We believe that this program will help remove glass recyclables from the city's current single-stream recycling program to limit contamination and increase the material value of those items. So glass collected at the glass recycling drop-off locations will be recycled in the U.S. For reuse in the glass industry. Glass recyclables will be made into various products, including new glass containers, recycled glass countertops, and foam glass, which can be used in construction projects as water filtration, medium, and lightweight concrete. So to learn more about this and what items are acceptable for the benefits of the program, we're encouraging you to go to www.savannahga.gov/glass recycling. savannahga.gov/glass glass recycling. It's also an exciting time because next Monday is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day in the United States, and our annual parade is finally back after a multi-year COVID hiatus. If you remember, I participated in 2020 as mayor, and we have not had a parade since. I've been told that we have the largest parade in the country, and we're excited to be able to have it back. So if you plan to attend, here are some things that you need to know. The parade is returning to Broad Street and will take place on Monday, January the 16th, and it will begin at 10 o'clock a.m. at the intersection of East Broad and Liberty Street. The no parking signs will be posted this week in advance of the parade. We're asking folks to please pay attention and make sure that you're not leaving your vehicle in a no parking area past the time that is listed. We do not want you to be towed. So vehicles remaining along the route and in the staging, disbanding area, will be removed. Will be towed at the owner's expense on parade day. Roads in the staging area will be closed to vehicle traffic as early as 6 a.m. on parade day. The parade route will begin closing to vehicle traffic as early as 9 a.m. on parade day. And roads will reopen as the parade clears the area, and all roads we anticipate will be reopened by 2 p.m. on parade day. Remember, and this is a really good tip, that you should take a picture of your child. Take a picture of your child, their face, take a picture of their body, and the clothing that they're wearing. Not only is it good generally, but it's also good if you ever lose your child, or your child's ever missing. We used to have situations in which parents did not have updated pictures of their children. So it's a good practice. It's certainly good for parades and other types of events to always have that information. Know how much your child weighs, know how tall your child is, and all of those things as well. Certainly we're getting back into the parade swing of things, and so we always want you to call 911 or your nearest police officer. We'll have officers all over the place should you ever be separated from your children. And so we want to make sure we help keep everybody safe. And if you're looking to park, on-street parking will be free on parade day. Parking is also available in all City of Savannah parking garages at the normal rates. And so I look forward to seeing everyone out, enjoying the festivities. Again, one more piece of our return to normal. And as we've always said, that MLK Jr. Day is a day on and not a day off. So we want people to really find opportunities to engage in service activities. We're asking to find ways to give, find ways to give back, find ways to pay it forward. And that's certainly, teach your children how to do that. That is how we build better and stronger communities. The city manager and I were informed that City Market has new owners, and that they've informed us of their intention to focus more on family-related activities and less nightlife. That's a business decision that they have made, and as you all know, the businesses encompassing City Market are privately owned and leased out. And so the city does not play a role in that private relationship. I also understand that the courtyard around City Market has been temporarily closed as they experiment with various measures to ensure the safety of the residents, businesses, and guests in the area. Again, the city does not play any role in that decision. But we do insist that everyone does everything they can to be safe and to ensure safety. As a musician myself, I'm hoping that we can do whatever we can in our city to facilitate a vibrant live music community and keep people safe at the same time. And I believe that we can do both. This Thursday, we're looking forward to our first City Council meeting of 2023, the first of 23 meetings we'll have this year. Our workshop will begin at noon at City Hall in our media room, and we will discuss a new exciting partnership for affordable housing, which you know is a key priority for this administration. Following the workshop, we will hold our regular meeting in council chambers at 2 o'clock p.m. At the start of the meeting, we will have several presentations, including an appearance by our own champions, the Benedictine Military School State Championship football team, appearance by representatives of the MLK Observance Day Association to formally request the 2023 MLK parade permit, recognition of the legacy and contributions of the late Louis Amaro of the Savannah Authority for the Homeless, and an appearance by representatives of the Savannah Interagency of Diversity Council to receive a proclamation announcing Traffic Jam 2023. We will also have a special presentation of a $1 million donation, and I'll say it again slow for the people in the back, $1 million. Mr. Manager, did you hear that? $1 million to the Savannah Affordable Housing Fund from the Galvin Foundation for use in the historic Brownsville neighborhood. And so we also have some exciting news on some things we've been working on regarding the 2023 housing partnerships and investments planned for this very historic community of Brownsville. We have participated in planning for 3 major housing initiatives that should result in investments upwards of $20 million over the next few years. First of all, Mercy Housing secured highly competitive tax credits from the State of Georgia Department of Community Affairs that will result in the $14 million plus renovation of 88 apartments in the historic Charity Hospital and the Flores Street Elementary School. The City Council, as you remember, approved a $526,000 loan from the Savannah Affordable Housing Fund to help secure those tax credits. And if you remember, there was a lot of discussion about why are we doing this. This is why we did it. It was a loan, $526,000, leveraged $14 million plus. I think it's a pretty good deal. Secondly, Mercy Housing secured $2.7 million from the governor's office that it intends to use as a part of the funding necessary to renovate 23 historic row houses in the 600 block of West 41st Street. And the city provided a letter of support of Mercy's application. Thirdly, Housing Savannah Incorporated, which is the NGO, the non-governmental organization created from the Housing Savannah Task Force, those board members have worked with the Galvin Foundation over the past year to develop a $6 million plus partnership to help provide mixed income, affordable, and workforce housing in Brownsville. Galvin wants to make a multi-year investment in improving housing and the quality of life in this historic neighborhood. It would like to acquire and invest $5 million plus in the development of housing of 19 city-owned vacant properties. That's 18 lots and 1 house. And it would acquire these properties from our land bank authority. As mentioned, Galvin will donate $1 million to the Savannah Affordable Housing Fund. This is the largest private donation to date to implement the Brownsville Homes Initiative, which benefits neighborhood residents and property owners through 4 primary initiatives. 1, owner-occupied home repairs. 2, first-time home buyer down payment assistance. 3, rental property improvement loans to small landlords. And 4, loans for renovation of vacant houses and or construction of new housing. So the city and CHA staff will work with Galvin and the neighborhood to implement this initiative. This is so exciting because this is what I envisioned when we started the Housing Savannah Task Force. to be able to create a situation where we're able to go hard for strategic partnerships, like the Housing Savannah Task Force and the City Council, when we adopted the Housing Savannah Action Plan in October 2021. So this is really good news for our community, a time when we're talking about the lack of affordable housing. We're doing not only talking about affordable housing, construction of affordable housing, retaining affordable housing, but also helping people to retain the housing that they have. And so we'll use College Brownsville as a pilot. We'll see how it goes. But what we're talking about is major investment in this historic community. And so I'm looking forward to this. As you know, I served this community as an alderman for 16 years. And again, looking forward for this being the jumping off point for the work that we're going to do on the west side. So following these presentations, we will consider alcohol licenses and zoning requests before considering approval and adoption of the updated city council districts that are the result of the 2020 census. After considering the updated council districts, we will move into purchasing items, and among the items is more than $260,000 for a stormwater pipeline inspection vehicle. As you know, if you can't attend our meetings in person, although we'd love that you would do so, you could always watch live on Facebook, YouTube, and of course our award-winning SGTV Channel 8. And next week, we invite you to come join the city's Municipal Archives Department and community partner, the Crusader Club, on the Southside District 6 for the District 6 Community Memory event at the Crusader Community Center, Friday, January the 20th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., and on Saturday, January the 21st, from 10 a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. The Savannah Community Memory Project aims to preserve and make accessible histories of communities missing from the city's archives to present a more inclusive and complete historical narrative of Savannah. We have a lot of stories here in Savannah. We don't have all the stories. And so for us to tell the accurate story of Savannah, we have to have all of the little stories that make up Savannah's complete story. So we're looking forward with this, and by sharing your story with the archives, your voice, your images, and documents will be part of our vast collective history, and it will be available to all that seek it forever. And so the District 6 Community Archiving Project is open to all residents, past and present, of all District 6 neighborhoods. So the history of tomorrow is being created today. New residents and youth are encouraged to participate as well. The event will feature a variety of collection methods. They'll have a digitization station. We want people to bring photographs, documents, and recipes, limit 10 items for on-site digitalization. We'll accept temporary loans for off-site digitization. We'll also have oral history station by reservation, and you can reserve a half an hour session by calling the Municipal Archives at 912-651-6412, 912-651-6412, and we'll also have reflection stations where we want people to share their thoughts and reflections through written prompt cards. And if you can't make it in person, you could participate through our online portal, and you can submit your memories and photographs through our online portal at www.savannahga.gov/yourhistory, savannahga.gov/yourhistory. And for more information, you can always contact our phenomenal Municipal Archives Department at 912-651-6412, 912-651-6412, or archives@savannahga.gov. And finally, quick shout out. Yesterday spent some time at Oglethorpe Charter School, where we swore in the brand new Titan ambassadors, impressive group of young folks, sixth graders, most of them. But we want to thank the folks out at Oglethorpe and the work that they're doing Leaders are not born, they're made. And so we have to help create leaders at the youngest possible ages. So congratulations to the Titan ambassadors of Ormthorpe Charter School. So that's all I have, and I'll entertain any questions you may have.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
Going back to talking about City Market eventually closing at midnight. I'm sure you've seen the Facebook posts that have been circling around. Those comments, many people are not happy to see that City Market is a place that they go to for nightlife. City Market is also a place that young tourists go to for nightlife. And a lot of people are wondering, what is closing at midnight going to do to deter crime? Tell me, how are you feeling after seeing these comments from people who are just not happy about this?
Well, I think it's a couple of things. I think the first thing is that, again, the city of Savannah we have no role in this. I mean, I also saw that we were blamed for everything. We have no role in this. This is a business decision. And, we don't have any role in this business decision, although we have insisted that everyone do all they can to keep people safe. We also recognize that when we've had violent events, they've happened after midnight. I mean, that's just a fact. We know as the night goes on, we know as people enjoy libations, we know that tempers sometimes become short, self-control lessens, and unfortunately people don't understand or lose self-control in terms of how to handle personal disputes. Again, I think that on one end of it, we want to have that freedom, but on the other end of it, we want to be safe. And so, I understand people are not happy about it. I mean, obviously, I'm not thrilled about it, but on the other end of it, I understand that, everybody's not happy about it until there's a shooting out there, and then all of a sudden, what do y'all do? What's happening? We go through this pendulum. And so again, I know that they're experimenting with a variety of things. I know that they're moving toward restaurants. I mean, I can't see why restaurants can't have some form of live music. But this is not, again, it's not the city of Savannah. Again, we've had no role. We didn't advise. We were informed that this is what the new direction of the owners of City Market, and so we'll see where it goes. I mean, again, we were blamed for it, but we had no role whatsoever. I got a phone call, and I was told this is what was going to happen, and we've had people calling saying, "Is there anything we can do about it?" And the answer is really no. I mean, this is privately owned property. These are leases between the City Market partners and the individual businesses, and Georgia's a strong property rights state, and so we can't engage or insert ourselves in those private transactions. So, again, we'll continue to do what we can to patrol and patrol the area. We'll just see where it is. I do know that we had no incidents to speak of during the New Year's holiday, and obviously that's a good thing. So we'll see where it goes. But the city had no role in it. I mean, again, I like going down and hanging out at City Market, just kind of being around. I also don't want to get shot either. I don't want to be, the unintended target of something's, some issue going awry. So,
Thank you for clarifying that. I saw that as well. You all being blamed.
Yeah, I mean, somebody showed me, and it's like, well, somebody said, when did we do this? I mean, it's like, some people calling my name. I mean, I can't be responsible for everything going wrong in people's lives, but I mean, here they were, Van Johnson had nothing to do with this. Van Johnson was told like everybody else was doing that. So I would appreciate it, particularly if you all would make that clear. The city had no role in this. I didn't even weigh in on it. I mean, I wasn't asked. This is a decision that they had made. And, we abide by the decisions that folks will make for the properties they own.
I saw some comments, comparing City Market almost to like Bourbon Street in New Orleans. Are you worried about tourism from, younger people, knowing that they might have less nightlife options?
Well, I think Savannah has a variety of things that people can be engaged in. There's not a comparison with Bourbon Street. Bourbon Street is a street of individual businesses. City Market is a group of privately owned businesses. It's a district of basically of its own. I think people come here and there's a bunch of things for people to be able to do. And maybe this is also an opportunity for those to expand. I think the other thing is that hopefully we'll find entrepreneurial interest in people being able to have venues that support live music for young people to go to. Again, I think that the major thing here is about safety. It's about safety because my concern is that when something occurs, then that falls on our laps. And again, as long as Georgia has gun laws where guns can be everywhere, and we have these random incidents where people engage in gunplay, we're going to continue to have businesses trying to find ways to be able to balance a profitable business and public safety. And so, I'm hoping that this will also create opportunities for entrepreneurs to be engaged in the event space and in the live music space.
And switching gears, now I know Triple Lake Park has been going under some renovations.
Yes.
Just wanted to check in and see where the construction process is right now and how much longer it could take until the park is open.
I noticed it's supposed to be a several-month process. This was over $2.6 million or something like that, the city manager. It was a major lift, 2.5. This involves basically firming up the cavity by which this lake is based. You have to go into it, you have to shore that up and go out. So it's a huge engineering and geological undertaking. And so I think we're hoping by the summer to be in a better position. But I will get an update, and I'll have that for you next week.
And also, the MLK parade, I know you've already talked about it, but I just wanted to check in and see if there were any changes from, 2 years ago.
I don't know. Again, the city of Savannah, we don't sponsor the MLK parade. We granted a permit for it to happen. The MLK Observer State Association has that information. But what we will do is we will make sure that any information that the general public needs to know, we'll make sure we help them to get that out. I know that they've capped their entries at 150. And I know that there are a lot of people, we used to have over 300 entries in there. So I know that there are a lot of people who want to be involved. And I think they're just trying to ease back into the flow of having a parade.
And also, like you mentioned, General Assembly starting here in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you're pushing for that you want to let our local lawmakers know that this is something that you feel like Savannah needs?
Oh, absolutely. First on our mind is the change in category in the hotel-motel tax. This will allow us to really be able to focus on strategic needs that we have. We have an outdated River Street. River Street is probably our most used part of real estate in the city. And at one time, I guess it would have been sufficient, but now you have Plant Riverside to the west, which is brand new, and you have now Eastern Wharf, which is brand new. And now it really shows in comparison just how outdated, just how aged River Street is. And so for me, being able to fund the complete renovation and updating of River Street to include not only the structural part of it, but also lighting and a variety of things, I think that's a huge benefit for everyone, not only residents, but also those who visit us. The other thing that's really important to me is the Waterworks building that's next to the arena. this was and is destined to become really an incubator location to help us to develop some of the, cultivate some of the local businesses in our area. And so this is an opportunity for us to be able to do that. Without, I think, clearly that residents, guests to our community should help pay for the improvements in our community. The law is very clear about what the money is supposed to be used for. It is used for what's called tourism-related product. And certainly River Street qualifies. Certainly the Waterworks building qualifies. And the third thing that's important to me is the Tie to Town, which is a connectivity opportunity throughout our community. And so as this grows out, I think this is also a very qualified project for that. So that's very, very important to us. I think it's our most important thing. We are the only hub city in the state that's at the 6% level. And I just think that if we want those types of things, we have to be able to pay for it. The other thing is that, City of Savannah, through the work that we do, it costs to do the things that we do. And as many of you all know, we have less money due to the lost, and so we have to find ways to help supplement the money that we've lost. And so this is a way for us to be able to do that. The other thing that's important to me is some type of gun legislation. Although unlikely to pass, I would certainly love to see some discussion about it, particularly common sense gun laws, red flag laws, to be able to make sure that people who should not have a gun don't have a gun, make it easier for police to destroy guns that they have confiscated. That's important to me. And the third thing I think that's most important to me is, it's four. Three deals with issues of housing and affordable housing. I think there needs to be some sort of rental stabilization. Many people, many Savannahans experience their rent going up by $500 straight. Your lease expired, your rent is going up $500. That is literally economic forced displacement. And so I think that hopefully the state can come up with a way that, if landlords want to raise rents, they can do that, but it shouldn't be an amount that makes it unaffordable. And so I'm hoping the state will help to be able to do that. And then the fourth thing, of course, is public transportation, which is important to all of us. We have to, in advance of what's happening in our community, we have to make sure that public transportation is in not only public, but make sure that it is extensive, make sure that it is countywide, make sure that people can get from one part of this county to the other without having a car, making sure people can get from here to our business corridors, from here to the Hyundai plant, from anywhere. Our viability going forward is going to depend on people having a job, people having child care, quality child care, people having affordable housing, and people having transportation. Those are the four legs of that table. And so those are the four things that we're focused on. And so hopefully, we have some new players, and hopefully we'll be able to see some progress. And then I think the other thing is we want to make sure that the state does not try to preempt things that cities and counties are able to do themselves. Obviously, we're local. We know what's best for our community. And so there are things that are important to us, and we want the ability to continue to be able to determine what works best for our community, which may not be the same for other communities.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Johnson, how you doing?
Good morning.
First question, what instrument do you play?
I'm a keyboard. I play piano, organ, yeah. So I used to do I used to gig every now and then. I haven't done that as much more, church related, but every now and then,
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Second question. So was there any conversation between you and City Market either before or after this decision was made about blocking it off after a certain hour?
No.
You haven't talked to them since or anything like that?
No, I mean, again, I think we were informed that there were new partners, and that the new partners had some new thoughts about what their vision for City Market was, and that they wanted it to be really focused more on a family atmosphere and less of a nightlife atmosphere. And so as a result of that, they were moving from more bars and clubs to more of a restaurant type of deal. And so we were informed. We were consulted, and not that we really expected to be. This was a decision that they made, and I understand that might have been their vision coming in.
You talk a lot about how you talk to business owners, you're out in the community quite a bit. Have you heard anything from those business owners in City Market?
I've heard from a couple, obviously concerned about not only their business model, and hopefully they understood when I told them that, that there's nothing that we can do about that. Again, this is a relationship with that. I think, again, it does create the opportunity for people to be able to create some venues elsewhere as we try to decentralize some of our entertainment venues. And, hopefully someone will take advantage of that. But yeah, some were disappointed. But on the other end of it, some of the same ones were, are disappointed, dismayed when we have a violent incident to occur in the area. That's bad for business for everybody as well. So I think, many of them may not like the decision. I think, a lot of them understand the decision.
Yeah, I remember you kind of floated a curfew idea a little bit last year that never came to be. Were the new people over at City Market involved with those discussions at all about a curfew?
No, my curfew was citywide. My curfew was citywide. And this was prior to the new owners. I don't even know who the new owners are. I've never discussed anything with them. And I think the context of what I said that was that if we're not able to get late nights under control, then we would issue a curfew for late night businesses. And so, fortunately, it did subside, and we didn't have to do that. Some businesses started taking additional measures to help protect their businesses, and we did see a marked decrease in those types of incidents.
Moving on a little bit to the Galvin deal, a lot of those houses are along 37th Street, looks like. Obviously, they're kind of around a little neighborhood, but will there be limitations on what kind of affordable housing they can put in there? Are they strictly restorations? Are they able to build ugly duplexes in the gateway to Savannah coming off 16 or anything like that? What are we looking at?
Well, I think it has to be a mixture of all of those things. I mean, I don't think ugly is a term that we would use. They have to be built in accordance with the character of the neighborhood. It is a historic district. But I think more importantly, what you're seeing is an opportunity of empty lots that now will have units on them. Some will be market rate, but at least 51%, I believe, will be affordable, which is very, very important. It helps us deal with the issues of blight in our community. We know the empty lots with houses, that means there are tax rolls at a higher value. That means that we're getting revenue for that. But more importantly, that folks over there have neighbors, and we're helping to clean up those communities. I said last week that I'm going to be. I've been each year dealing with a different aspect of public safety. We've dealt with the youth aspect, with the community aspect, with the law enforcement and judicial and prosecutorial aspect. And this year, I'm really talking about the environmental aspect of public safety. Lighting is going to be a big deal for me. Lighting and brush and light. And how do we make our community brighter so that the appetite for crime is decreased and the feeling of public safety is increased. So housing, filling in vacant properties are part of that. I'm just excited for it. This is huge. But it doesn't happen unless we have the Housing Savannah Task Force.
That kind of leads into my next question.
I mean the Housing Savannah Task Force, which at the time, wasn't passed unanimously. But the reality was that the recommendations of those folks that was done totally during the pandemic creating that NGO, and now having it where city manager and folks on Housing Savannah Inc. can make major decisions and major moves, realize dreams that Martin, Freddie, and I talked about 20 years ago, for us making big moves, leveraging big moves, and then being able to leverage those moves to be able to help see real results. And I think the most important thing to me is that sometimes you have people in an older neighborhood that just can't keep their property up. It is minor stuff that becomes bigger stuff. And so $1 million in that community to help with home repairs is awesome. We had $2 million last year, I think it was, in home repairs, and we helped a couple of hundred people. So again, it's a win-win. I am so pumped about it because it just means a big win for our community. 200,000? 200,000. No, sorry, thank you, 200,000.
And the 1 million is strictly home repairs from Galvin, like the contribution to the home?
Yeah.
I'll get it.
Yeah, we'll put that out.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, how did that relationship come about with Galvin? Were you guys approached by them? Did the housing council approach Galvin itself, or how did that work?
Well, you have people in the housing space. So we have some of the best housing professionals, I think, anywhere in the world. Again, can't say enough about Martin Freddie and his team. Can't say enough about Nita Smith-Dixon and CHSA, which has been in this space. Mercy Housing, which is nationally known, that has also done Savannah Gardens. So they're familiar. It was 20 years ago when we did the first projects out there in College Brownsville. And so now it's just a universe now, the relationships that we've built. And people see, Galvin told us that they saw the work we were doing in Housing Savannah and Housing Savannah Inc. They saw it, they wanted to be a part of it. And so, and we had the funds to be able to help to leverage some of that support. So, the more we do, the more we lift it up, it draws people to us. And that's what we want to be. We want to be that light for affordable housing. We want to lead the way.
Moving on to glass recycling. The Glassworks, WRX, I remember you came through in September or something, and I talked to people who know about glass recycling, and they told me to ask you, do we have absolute guarantees that the glass will not end up in a landfill, or any percentage of the glass will end up in a landfill?
I think we have a firm agreement. And so to the extent on which the agreement is honored, that's the purpose of it, so it won't end up in a landfill.
Are there any checks or balances about that from the city, or are we like making sure?
I mean, if you mean, will city staff be going through by there every day looking? I mean, I don't know that. I don't expect that we will, but I think that we will have audit opportunities to make sure that they're doing what they say that they're going to do. That's the purpose of the agreement. So, if the vast majority of it doesn't end up in a landfill, we've already won. So, I think it's a win.
Yeah, that's the current state of things, I guess. Last question. The city hired a consulting firm for the Civic Center. Is there any movement on that? Any plans on that you can share at this point?
Not to be shared at this point. Wait for the city manager to brief council. But ultimately, we have to decide what we're going to do. We now have an arena that is open, rave reviews, a lot of things happening, a lot of movement happening as we continue to build and deal with the parking challenges. We have a civic center that is also very vibrant. We have a arena that we're holding together by rubber bands. That right now the only thing it's really good for is skating because we're not paying for it. And we have assigned the risk to the operators of it. We have a theater that is very active but needs some TLC. We have ballrooms and meeting rooms that are definitely needing some care. And so I'm hoping that this council will have the opportunity to make some decisions and not get paralyzed by our analysis of it. to be able to decide what we're going to do and then start pushing down the direction. So I will get in front of the city manager as it relates to that and wait till he briefs council.
That's it.
Thank you.
Could have got a longer day.
I mean, yeah, y'all must had your Wheaties today. Y'all throwing questions all over the place. So, I mean, Camille came in here late and then she's firing. I'm doing like I'm doing like the Matrix. All the questions. I'm like,
Oh my gosh. Why do you always look on me there?
because I think you're phenomenal. So, thank you all so much. Great to see all of you. Week number 2 down of 51 to go. 51 this year. Be Savannah strong. Thanks.